in my opinion, becoming an influencer online nowadays, it's kind of going in the wrong direction. At least, looking at how everybody's trying to be an influencer without necessarily thinking who they influence and what's the actual influence that they'll bring on that audience. So in this episode, I'm going to teach you how to become a micro influencer that's actually impacting the most important people in your business. And those are your clients. So stay tuned. Welcome to High-End Client Acquisition Podcast. My name is Marian. I'm your host, and this show is here to teach you how to attract your dream clients on autopilot in 30 days or less. Each week, I bring you a guest or a strategy that can help you take your business to the next level. Don't forget, you can always get the episodes in your inbox or messenger at clientacquisitionpodcast.com. What's going on, guys? Welcome to another episode of High-End Client Acquisition Podcast. My name is Marian, and if this is your first time here and you want to learn more about how to get more clients, how to enroll them into higher-end packages and products and services, don't forget to hit subscribe and maybe leave us a review if you want to join our monthly giveaway. So let's jump into today's kind of strategy / training, right? Now, like I mentioned at the beginning, this whole influencer game online is kind of going in the wrong direction from people just try to become influencers without having, something of value to bring to the public. And of course, without knowing who they want to influence, right? So that's super, super important. Now, in this episode, I'm going to get straight to what are the tactics. So if this episode sounds a little too technical, you can pause it and then listen a couple times because it'll make sense. But also, if you want to actually see and watch the video, you can go to iwantdreamclients.com and you can actually join the free course of this entire training, right? So what's the whole thing of becoming an influencer? So in my scenario, in my opinion, to be honest, becoming an influencer is you influencing the people that you want to serve. Not everybody, just your ideal clients, your prospects, and your potential clients that may come from your content, right? So for example, in step number 1, and then this is something that I thought in a different episode, I think 2 episodes ago, you first need to understand what's the problem that you solve. If you don't solve a problem, you cannot be an influencer if you don't solve a problem. What are you going to influence people with, right? If you just, even if you look good and if you have 6 packs and things, well, you still solve a problem because you can teach people how you did it so they can do it themselves, right? Or whatever, if you help them, if you're a personal trainer or things like that. But you need to solve a problem in order to be able to just have the thought of, all right, I want to become an influencer. So I just want to make sure I take that, I take that out of the equation before you even consider that. So once you identify what's the problem that you solve, and once you did that, then you get into the point of, all right, now I'm going to create content around the problems that I'm solving. So I thought that in the previous episode. So if you haven't listened to that, I highly suggest you go there first and you'll be able to just listen to that and then come to this one because it'll make more sense. So once you created the 3 important pieces of content around those problems, now it's time for you to promote it. So if you don't have an audience, if you don't have a following, you have to pay to play. You have to pay either Facebook or Instagram or YouTube. Usually these are the 3 platforms that I talk about. You have to pay to promote them, to promote your content on them in order for people to see it. So even if you do a Facebook Live now about the problem that you solve, if nobody's going to see it, that's fine because you put $5, $10 against it, against some audiences that I talk about in a previous episode. Because you're able to target your main competitors, your content can be really targeted towards the people that they listen or they watch, right? So the way that you become omnipresent and the way that you become a micro influencer, strategically putting different pieces of content in front of the same audience. It's not about you going broad. It's you being able to put some audiences in a couple buckets and then keep showing your content and videos and things like that to the same audience, because now what you're going to do is you're actually going to be able to be given kind of the idea like, oh my God, this guy is spending so much money on marketing because I see him everywhere. But it's not about that. It's about you strategically retargeting people. So this strategy called retargeting or remarketing, whatever you want to call it, is you putting people into different buckets based on their behavior. So let's say you put 3 main videos about solving a problem. So let's say you are a health coach or a fitness trainer or things like that. Let's say you have one video with how to lose weight. The second video would be 3 steps to eat healthy on a budget, let's say. And number 3 would be 4 ways to avoid junk food, let's say, right? And again, you can probably do a better job picking up those titles. I'm just throwing this out there. So now, if you target, for example, with the first video 4 different audiences, then you look at the results that those audiences will tell you. So for example, if you do the first video and you target 4 different audiences, like 4 different ad sets, after a week, and you can just spend $1 to $2 a day, and you'll just use an engagement objective of the campaign. At the end of the week, you can look and see which audience resonates best with your content. Then the next step is you pause the other one. So for example, on an engagement ad, you should get 0.01 or 0.001 or 0.0001 cent per engagement. So that's you're literally paying less than a cent per view for somebody to engage with your content. So if you see that audience 1 versus audience 2 versus audience 3 versus audience 4, you'll see which one gives you the best result that you expect, and you should expect 0.001 or 0.01. Then would be you pause the rest, and now you're spending more money on just promoting that piece of content to just the audience that told you this is what I like, right? The next step in the process would be, all right, now you will create an audience of people that watch that video. So think about it. If somebody watched a video, think about you. When you watch a movie, you really want to see another movie of that actor. Like, you just want to do that if you really enjoyed the way that he played in the movie, of course, right? Like, it's so important for the first piece to be the best. So that's why the first piece of content will just, based on the results, that they'll tell you, all right, this audience resonates the best with this piece of content for whatever reason, right? Like when I do a video training and I target with different assets, Lewis Howes fans, Gary Vee's fans, Grant Cardone's fans, Russell Brunson's fans, and I can go on and on and on. And then I look at the results and I see like, all right, Lewis Howes fans cost per engagement is 0.01, but everybody else is 0.03 or 0.2. The rest I pause and I just focus on showing that piece of content. I'll put $5 or $10 or $20 or $50 to the same piece of content, just showing it to Lewis Howes fans, right? I hope that makes sense. The next step is you create an audience of people that watched your video. So you can put different buckets. Now, of course, you can get as detailed as you want, but you can put people, for example, that watched 25% of your video versus another bucket could be 50% of your video, 75% of your video. So the way you talk to these people can be different, right? Like, for example, it all depends, because if the video is 10 minutes, 25% of those 10 minutes is 2 minutes and a half. If somebody's watching 2 minutes and a half, it's still a pretty good time. If somebody's watching 5 minutes, all of a sudden, like, oh, now you're definitely a good prospect. But somebody that's just watching 3 seconds of your video, of course, that person, it's not going to be so targeted because they bounced before they even had the chance to listen to you. So now the other step would be for you to take it to a whole new level. Every content that you create, you will just show it to the audience that gave you the best result. The best result in terms of the best price, the best cost per engagement. So now you create maybe another live video, maybe whatever it is. You put that content in front of the same audience. The second time when you do it, now you can ask people to download your lead magnet. Now you can tell people to watch your webinar. Now you can tell people to join your free course. Now you can tell people whatever you want. Well, of course, they may not be ready to buy now. In the next step, of course, it would be. But what you do to increase the audience that keeps seeing your content is you keep feeding it. So every time when you create new pieces of content, you will test different audiences. And then what you do is you just go into your specific audience that you initially created, and you can add multiple videos to the same one. So you just increase. So I know, like I said, I know this may sound a little technical. And if you go to iwantdreamclients.com, you can watch the actual video and watch the training and understand exactly what I'm talking about, because I know it's a visual thing, but it's so much more powerful to actually, like, this is how you become an influencer, because now you can play between Facebook and Instagram and show different pieces of content. Like on Instagram, for example, you can add emojis on your videos and other stuff like that. When you do that and retarget people that watch your videos on Instagram and you watch your videos on Facebook, and now you show a piece of content on Instagram to the same people, like, can you imagine how powerful is that? I don't even talk now about if you put pixels on your page and now you can show content to people on YouTube and Facebook and other stuff like that. But just you being able to showing different pieces of content to the same audience will make you an influencer, because now that audience is just trapped into watching your content everywhere, like specifically on these two platforms, before you even ask them for anything in return. Like, you'll just provide more value. But again, this strategy will not work if you create videos that don't solve a problem, because they won't align with the audience that you're trying to target. I hope that makes sense, because that's very important. All right. So then the next step in the process would be, all right, now you can create an ad to invite people to your webinar or to your lead magnet, to whatever, because now they saw you everywhere and they're so familiar with what you're trying to do, and you're so familiar with the fact that you solve a big problem in their life or business, whatever your model would be. And now, one, your cost is going down, you're going to pay less for your leads, and they're going to be so much more engaged because they just see you everywhere they go. Like, I want you to understand how powerful is that, and how much can that change the business and the way that you create your content. So again, if you're more of a visual person, go to iwantdreamclients.com and you'll be able to watch the training there. It's a free training and you can see exactly how all these pieces play out. But don't forget, if this is your first time here on the show, hit the subscribe button and maybe, listen a couple more and leave us a review or leave us a question. And this way you can also join the giveaway, the monthly giveaway, where we give away books and courses and other things like that, where you can win, every single month. I'm not saying that you'll win every single month, but if you don't join, you cannot win. All right. So I hope you enjoyed this lesson, guys. Again, this can literally change your business, and this can bring you to a whole new level if you do it correctly. So that's why, again, I'll mention training, because I know it's more of a visual thing. So don't forget, you can go to iwantdreamclients.com and you'll get the training and all the details there. Thanks a lot for listening, guys, and I'll catch you in the next one. Take care. Hey, podcast listeners, I want you to know that I really appreciate your attention and I don't take it lightly. That's why each month we pick a lucky winner and we give away books, mentorship, software, courses, iPads, and other cool stuff. The way to enter is go to clientacquisitionpodcast.com and sign up. You'll get all the details there. Talk to you guys soon. Take care.